Imagine standing in front of a crowd facing a barking dog or slamming the brakes on a highway. Your body reacts instantly. But why? This immediate response, often referred to as the fight, flight, freeze response, is a fundamental part of our human biology. Understanding this ingrained mechanism is crucial for anyone embarking on a journey towards a healthier lifestyle. It empowers us to not only recognize when our bodies are under stress, but also to develop effective strategies for managing that stress and its long-term effects on our mental and physical well-being. This knowledge will equip you with the tools to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and build a foundation for a balanced and healthy life. In this article, we will delve deep into the intricacies of the fight, flight, freeze response, exploring its origins, the science behind it, its triggers, the consequences of its prolonged activation, and most importantly, practical techniques you can use to regain control and foster inner calm. What is the fight, flight, freeze response? At its core, the fight, flight, freeze response is an automatic, involuntary survival mechanism that has been honed over millennia of human evolution. Think of it as your body's internal alarm system, designed to protect you from perceived danger. When faced with a threat, real or imagined, your body prepares for immediate action to ensure your survival. This rapid response happens without conscious thought, highlighting its deeply ingrained nature. Its origins lie in our evolutionary history, where quick reactions to predators or other life-threatening situations were essential for survival. Those who could react swiftly and effectively were more likely to survive and pass on their genes, embedding this response into our very being. The fight, flight, freeze response manifests in three primary ways: fight, flight, and freeze. The fight response involves an aggressive reaction aimed at confronting the threat. This might look like standing your ground, becoming assertive, or even physically defending yourself. The flight response, on the other hand, is characterized by an urge to escape from the danger to ensure safety. This could involve running away, withdrawing from a stressful situation, or simply removing yourself from the perceived threat. The third primary response, freeze, involves staying completely still to avoid detection by the threat or to prepare for a potential fight or flight action. Think of a deer caught in headlights. Its immobility is a classic example of the freeze response. Beyond these core responses, it's important to briefly acknowledge some expanded understandings of how we react to stress. Two additional responses that have gained recognition are fawn and flop. The fawn response involves trying to please or appease the perceived threat to avoid conflict. This might manifest as people-pleasing behavior or going along with others even when uncomfortable. The flop response, also known as collapse, involves a complete shutdown or giving up in the face of overwhelming stress. This can look like feeling numb, disconnected, or experiencing physical paralysis. While the initial focus is on fight, flight, and freeze, understanding these additional responses can provide a more comprehensive picture of how individuals react to stressful situations. The science behind the stress response. The fight, flight, freeze response is a complex interplay of neurological and hormonal processes orchestrated by our brain and nervous system. The process typically begins in the brain, specifically with a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. The amygdala acts as the brain's threat detector, constantly scanning our environment for potential danger. When the amygdala perceives a threat, it sends a distress signal to another part of the brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus then acts as a command center, activating the autonomic nervous system, ANS. The activation of the autonomic nervous system triggers a cascade of hormonal changes. The hypothalamus signals the adrenal glands, which are located above the kidneys, to release stress hormones, primarily adrenaline, also known as epinephrine, and cortisol. Adrenaline is responsible for the immediate, rapid changes we experience during the fight, flight, freeze response, while cortisol plays a longer-term role in the body's response to stress. The autonomic nervous system has two main branches, the sympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is responsible for activating the fight or flight response. When this system is engaged, it prepares the body for action by increasing heart rate and blood pressure and by directing energy towards the muscles. The parasympathetic nervous system, on the other hand, is responsible for restoring calm after the stressor is gone. It promotes rest and digest functions, slowing down heart rate, lowering blood pressure, and facilitating digestion. These hormonal and neurological changes lead to a variety of physiological changes throughout the body. Your heart rate and breathing become faster to deliver more oxygen to your muscles, providing them with the energy needed for fight or flight. Blood flow is redirected away from non-essential functions like digestion and towards the skeletal muscles, preparing them for action. Your pupils dilate to enhance vision, allowing you to see the threat more clearly. Interestingly, your perception of pain may also decrease temporarily, allowing you to focus on survival. All these changes work in concert to give you the best possible chance of surviving the perceived danger. Triggers of fight, flight, freeze. The fight, flight, freeze response can be triggered by a wide range of stimuli, which can be broadly categorized into physical threats, psychological threats, and conditioned responses. Understanding these triggers is a key step in learning to manage your body's stress reactions. Physical threats are the most obvious triggers for this response. These include situations where your physical safety is directly at risk, such as encountering predators, being involved in accidents, or experiencing natural disasters. In these scenarios, the fight, flight, or freeze response is a crucial survival mechanism that can help you react quickly to protect yourself. However, in our modern lives, the fight, flight, freeze response is often activated by psychological threats that don't necessarily involve physical danger. These can include situations like public speaking, job interviews, important exams, social rejection, or even intense arguments. While these situations don't pose an immediate physical threat, our brains can perceive them as dangerous due to the potential for social or emotional harm. This highlights how our ancient survival mechanism can be triggered by the complexities of modern life. Furthermore, past experiences can lead to conditioned responses, where previously neutral stimuli become associated with danger and trigger the fight, flight, freeze response. For example, someone who has experienced a traumatic event, such as a car accident, might find that the sound of screeching tires triggers a strong stress response, even if there is no immediate danger present. These conditioned responses can be deeply ingrained and can significantly impact an individual's daily life, leading to heightened sensitivity to perceived threats. Effects of chronic stress, response activation. While the fight, flight, freeze response is essential for short-term survival, prolonged or frequent activation of this system, known as chronic stress, can have significant negative impacts on both our physical and mental health. When our bodies are constantly in a state of alert, the sustained release of stress hormones like cortisol can lead to a range of health problems. On the physical health front, long-term activation of the stress response can contribute to high blood pressure, increasing the risk of heart disease and stroke. It can also weaken the immune function, making us more susceptible to infections and illnesses. Digestive issues such as irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, and ulcers are also commonly linked to chronic stress. Additionally, persistent stress can lead to chronic fatigue and muscle tension, further impacting overall well-being. The impact of chronic stress on mental health is equally significant. Prolonged exposure to stress hormones like cortisol can disrupt the delicate balance of neurotransmitters in the brain, increasing the risk of anxiety disorders, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and depression. Emotional dysregulation, characterized by difficulty managing emotions and increased irritability, is also a common consequence of chronic stress. Furthermore, repeated activation of the fight, flight, freeze response can lead to negative behavioral changes. individuals may develop avoidance behaviors where they actively avoid situations or people that they perceive as stressful or threatening. Hypervigilance, a state of heightened alertness and scanning for potential danger, can also develop, leading to increased anxiety and difficulty relaxing. These behavioral changes can significantly impact relationships, work performance, and overall quality of life. Coping strategies for managing stress responses. While the fight-flight-freeze response is an automatic reaction, we are not powerless against its effects. There are numerous effective coping strategies that can help us manage our stress responses, both in the moment and in the long term, fostering a greater sense of control and calm. For immediate techniques to de-escalate a stress response as it's happening, grounding exercises can be incredibly helpful. These techniques help to bring you back to the present moment and can interrupt the cycle of fear and anxiety. One popular grounding exercise is the 5-4-3-2-1 method, where you identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Focusing on your senses in this way can help to anchor you in the present. Another effective immediate technique is progressive muscle relaxation. This involves tensing and then releasing different muscle groups in your body, helping to release the physical tension that often accompanies the stress response. Focusing on your breath, taking slow, deep inhales and exhales can also have a calming effect on the nervous system. For long-term strategies to build resilience to stress and regulate emotional reactions over time, mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool. Regular practice of mindfulness meditation can help you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing you to respond to stressors with greater clarity and less reactivity. Regular physical activity is also crucial for managing overall stress levels. Exercise releases endorphins, which have mood-boosting effects and can help to reduce the physical tension associated with stress. Aim for a variety of activities you enjoy, whether it's walking, running, swimming, or dancing. Finally, it's important to recognize when professional support is needed. Seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor can provide you with valuable tools and strategies for managing chronic stress and the effects of past trauma. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a common therapeutic approach that helps individuals identify and reframe negative thought patterns that contribute to stress and anxiety. Exposure therapy can be particularly helpful for individuals with conditioned responses or PTSD, gradually desensitizing them to triggers in a safe and controlled environment. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength and can significantly improve your overall well-being. Conclusion. In summary, the fight-flight-freeze response is an innate and automatic survival mechanism that has played a crucial role in human evolution. It is triggered by perceived threats, whether physical or psychological, and involves a complex interplay of neurological and hormonal changes designed to prepare the body for immediate action. While this response is essential for short-term survival, chronic activation can have detrimental effects on both our physical and mental health, leading to issues like high blood pressure, weakened immune function, anxiety disorders, and depression. However, it's important to remember that while this response is natural and automatic, it can be managed effectively with knowledge and practice. By understanding the triggers and the physiological basis of the fight-flight-freeze response, we can begin to implement effective coping strategies. Immediate techniques like grounding exercises and progressive muscle relaxation can help to de-escalate stress in the moment, while long-term strategies such as mindfulness meditation and regular physical activity can build resilience and improve our overall ability to manage stress. If you found the content valuable, please show your support by giving us a like, subscribing to our channel, and activating the notification bell to stay updated on future health tips and advice. We encourage you to share your thoughts and questions in the comments section below.